bit of a catch up. Um, yeah, yeah, weirdly, I couldn't find any English subtitles for it, so I just listened to it in French. Um, so I know a little bit of French, so I was able to grasp what they were saying. So
Cecil B. Demented.
yeah,
Is Did you see it in French?
the way I was watching it, because I watched it on like a film website, and the English subtitles weren't available.
Yeah. But like, we had,
So
I didn't like it wasn't dubbed to French.
I don't know what the fuck's going on then.
Like,
But
like the
anyway,
one where they
like
kidnapped the film star.
yeah, I was watching that one. Yeah,
Yeah. Because that's like it's in
yeah,
English.
yeah. But
That was weird.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
but
I get it.
yeah,
It was unexpected. You know French?
I I can't. I used to be able to speak French when I learned it at school, but like
Yeah.
I know a few words, but I couldn't understand French.
Yeah.
So I weren't that bothered by it. So yeah,
Oh, cool.
um,
I I I wish I could French. I only know English and well Swedish, but like that's my main language. Yeah. Um, uh, I I have some very strong opinions about this film. Positive. I will just come right out and say from the get-go.
yeah,
Um,
I had to
but
write a mini review as I was watching it, because I just had to get my thoughts on paper.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, I get
but
that.
yeah,
I'm going to be. Um, should we? Should I? Because I saw it last night with the boyfriend. He had never seen it before, and I sort of introduced it. I introduced him to it by saying it's the only film that understands films, and I
yeah,
don't know if that helps. Uh, but yeah, like, how do you want to do this? Should we first and foremost maybe explain what we're doing?
yeah. So I've tweeted out what we
Yeah,
discussing on this episode. So if those
oh,
of you
cool.
who don't know, Max told me about this on last week's podcast. About this
Yeah,
film called Cecil B. Demented.
yeah,
It's
because I
by
need sort of a
Yeah,
break from all the news.
yeah, and you made it, and it's a very good idea, because yeah,
Yeah,
it's by John Waters. Um, 'Cause,
yeah,
you may recognize him from Hairspray
yeah.
and other
Um,
films. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
Pink
a bit of
Flamingos
a
and
yeah,
Serial Mom is also
yeah.
a big one.
So yeah, this is so welcome to the episode 36, by the way. Um, so
Yeah.
yeah, um, I'm gonna go to my notes, because I did a
Yeah.
little bit of a
Uh,
mini review. Obviously, um,
and I have very strong thoughts on this already, so I can
yeah,
like pull from that.
um,
But
the
uh,
first
do
the first opening scenes, like I was I was letting it play, getting to grasp
Yeah,
with the dialogue, the different characters. Um,
yeah,
First of all, it's wacky
yeah,
in a good way. Um, it has some people I recognise. It had Ricky Lake, Stephen
yeah.
Dorff. Um,
I don't know. I don't know if John Waters is like the only person who actually did use like Ricky Lake ever. I
No,
can't
I
think
mean
of anyone else who has ever used it.
yeah, I mean she was, and I think still is maybe was really popular in like the
Yeah, but like she was popular
90s,
for like a talk show,
2000s.
right?
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean like in a sort of in an actual film. I did like John Waters, I've seen it. He uses her in Serial Mom as well.
yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm looking for my eyebrow thingy.
that's right.
Um
So yeah, so Cecil B. Demented is basically a wild ride through the eccentric mind of, as I mentioned, John Waters. Um,
and it is eccentric.
yeah, because you have
Um
Stephen Dorff, who,
I'm sorry.
apart from who, I don't really rate him, but you got him, you got Ricky Lake.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
if
Uh,
I will, okay, right, I will.
do you want me
Let
to do a
me.
synopsis or something?
Um, what I will do is, excuse me. Wait. So I just want to put up
I wonder.
the cast because
Yeah.
like right. So for the cast, we have Melanie Griffith, who plays Honey Whitlock,
Yeah.
Stephen Dorff, Cecil B. Demented, Alicia Witt Cherish, Adrian Grenier Lyle, um, Lawrence Gilliard Jr. Lewis, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Jake Gyllenhaal's sister, Raven,
Yeah.
Jack Nosworthy, Rodney. You have Ricky Lake as Libby,
Yeah.
uh, Michael Shannon as Petty. Basically, you have basically a mismatch of five teenagers who are trying to
Oh
basically,
yeah, that's the funniest thing.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
that they
and
call
it's
them
like,
teenagers and they're like in their fucking 30s
yeah,
and 40s.
yeah. Um, so yeah, you have these five characters who are eccentric in their own way, trying to pull off this massive coup of kidnapping this Hollywood
Yeah,
star.
it's a terrorist or it's a terrorist
Yeah,
cell
yeah,
actually of filmmakers. It's fucking
yeah,
bizarre. Um,
yeah. It is exactly.
it's it's it is a weird film, and I have so much love for it. I'm first and foremost, I'm going to come out right out and say it. Cecil B. Demented is probably my personal. I'm not saying it's the best film I've ever seen. I think this might be my favorite film of all time. Alongside two other films like Titan, if you've seen that one, if you know about it.
I'm fairly familiar with it. Yeah,
Yeah, it's the like French Belgian weird art house, not art house, body horror. I mean, film about a girl who fucks a car and then gets pregnant. Uh,
yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah,
uh, and that's like that's not even that's barely even the setup for the story. It
yeah,
goes so many weird places, and it's also like a deeply resonant and emotional work, and like a deeply personal one. And it's beautiful and heartbreaking, and um, it isn't what you expect a film to be able to be when it's about a girl fucking a car.
yeah,
But and then it's also there's a film called Censor. I think it's from 2021. It's a British film, and it's about a woman who is a she's working as a censor for the like um the BBFC, is it?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I know what about, yeah.
Yeah, she's cutting the films, and it's during the 80s, and it's like during the whole nasty videos debacle.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, uh, and like the banned films and stuff like that. And then she sees a woman in one of those films that she believes is her missing sister, and she tries to find her. And it's also like absolutely wonderful. And alongside those two sits like Cecil B. Demented as just one of those films that are other people can watch it, other people can love it, but this film is made for me specifically. Like it's a film that someone made, like John Waters. I don't know why he did it, but for some reason he thought, I wonder what Max would want to see in a film. And then he made a
Yeah,
film about that exact thing. Because like this is the only film I have ever in my entire life seen that actually shares my philosophy of art. And we're
yeah,
getting to that in a bit. I'm actually just going to use like my fucking mascara for the eyebrows and hope that it doesn't look like shit.
yeah.
Um,
So to give, I mean, I'm gonna give a little bit, and then Max can obviously give like
yeah,
a synopsis from her point of view.
yeah,
Basically, it's a dark comedy. I mean, eh,
yeah,
the comedy doesn't always land, in my opinion. But it's a dark comedy that
yeah,
that satirizes the Hollywood film industry with a blend of absurdity and anarchy. And
yeah,
obviously, it centers around a renegade filmmaker, Cecil B. Demented, played by Stephen Dorff, who ki- who along with these five other, you know, teenagers, uh, plan to kidnap a Hollywood starlet.
yeah.
And there's a few scenes where there was one scene where I think she was in the middle of the cinema in front of a bin, and she pulls out something like a shotgun and puts a bullet in it, puts it back in, and then immediately after, like a customer walks up to her asking for. I said, I puts it down. She said, "Oh yeah, can I help you?" I was like, Did they not see that she just pulled out a shotgun, put a bullet in it,
I love that shit.
and it's like,
It's
oh,
so fucking dumb.
the scene before that, there's another woman where she's standing by the popcorn stand and she pulls out a gun and then
Yeah,
pulls it back in. And it's like,
yeah. How they're hiding their fucking guns
yeah, yeah,
is a mystery worthy of the ages. It's a
yeah,
mystery for the ages. Um, it sort of exists in its own little reality, doesn't it?
yeah. And obviously, I mean, there's a mix of um guerrilla filmmaking and anti-establishment antics with his like crew of misfit cinema terrorists
Yeah,
waging war against mainstream media, against mainstream cinema. And it's
yeah,
like I said, like some of the comedy don't always land. And
yeah.
I think that's part of his charm,
Yeah,
in a way. It's part of
I
his charm.
like that you say that. Yeah, I agree. Like,
A
because
film
it's
doesn't have to always be perfect and hit every mark. Because if it does
no, and
that,
like,
then it's like it's pointless.
yeah, and I would like argue that a film like this, like, where the point actually is that filmmaking should be passionate and chaotic and weird, uh, this film would be harmed by being polished.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah.
Like, it feels like the film is actually made in the way that they make the film in a film.
Yeah.
Like what god damn it, I can't remember the title of the film. It's Raving Beauty, I feel. um I'm gonna have to look that up. I
Yeah.
think it's Raving Beauty. And like the way they shoot that film feels like the way that they shot Cecil B. Demented. And I'm going to like, yeah, Raving Beauty, Cecil B. Demented. This it's something like that. I don't, I can't find it, but yeah, let's say it is.
Yeah,
And like, do you wanna, like the longest scene in the film is the opening scene.
yeah,
It goes on for ages.
yeah.
Like
It, yeah, absolutely. It's like you know, there's also the rated films. Like I don't know much about filmmaking. I don't know much about cinematography, but the way
yeah,
it's shot in certain places, it gives off
yeah,
the claustrophobia feeling. Like you feel too
yeah,
intoxicated by claustrophobia. The way it's filmed, the way it zooms in, the way it
yeah,
pans out, it gives that feeling of constant claustrophobia of it, as if to say you're feeling suffocated. And
yeah,
again, like the comedy does not really land. Sometimes you know the filming isn't always spot on, but when
no,
you have a cult classic, which this is, there are going to be mistakes, and that's part of its charm. It's
yeah,
uh,
like
you know,
perfection is boring.
yeah, exactly.
Uh, if we're talking about like perfect, actual, like literal 100% perfection. Um, yeah. Do you have any other thoughts if you want? I have
Um,
so, I have so much. I have so many like tying this to queer bullshit. So like, um,
yeah.
I kind of reconstructed a reason, but there are definitely stuff in here that does like tie it to that. You wanna? Um, there we
Let me
go.
have a look.
Do you have any?
Did you say
Do you have
it is
any more comments? Sorry.
Did you say um raving beauty? Did you
Yeah,
say?
I think so. I think like the film that they're making is called uh Raving Beauty. But I don't remember.
Um,
Like
because
that,
that
it's completely sorry. It's completely slipped my mind, and I couldn't find any.
wait. Um, Raving Beauty was created by Richard Rainey.
Oh,
I mean,
I mean, like the film that Cecil B. Demented is making.
oh yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so the review I put down was basically Waters' signature style is evident throughout the film, with its over the top characters and outrageous scenarios. Which, yes,
Hmm?
the film's humor is often dark and irreverent, poking fun at
Yeah.
the pretentiousness of Hollywood and the absurdity of the film industry. Melanie Griffith
Um,
delivers a spirited performance as the diva turned reluctant English star, while Stephen Dorff's manic energy drives the film forward. However, the film's execution can feel uneven at times. While the premise is intriguing and the satire sharp, the narrative occasionally loses focus and some jokes fall flat. The film's
yeah.
chaotic nature, while intentional, might not appeal to everyone, and it lacks the polish of Waters' more mainstream works. But again, that's not what you want. This is a cult classic, and it's a cult classic for a reason. So yeah, it might not be more
It's
mainstream, but again, it might not work. for everyone. Um,
It is
overall,
a cruel.
yeah,
It's not cruel. It's actually very not cruel, but it is a
yeah,
uh, what do we say? It's a it doesn't appease to normalcy.
yeah. Um, overall, Cecil B. Demented is a cult classic that will appeal to fans of John Waters' unique brand of filmmaking. It's a bold, irreverent take on the film industry that doesn't hold back, making it a memorable, if not entirely cohesive cinematic experience.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like, for a
Yeah.
film that was made in 2000 to still have the effect that it does on people who have seen it. And whilst it might not be a when you think of a mainstream film, this might not necessarily fit that mold because
No.
obviously it's indie, but to still have that wow factor of wow, look at this. Like you have five characters that are still very much relatable. John Waters is still you can still sense and grasp his work because
Yeah.
wherever you may think of John Waters personally, because I know obviously he was gay, um,
Yeah.
you cannot deny his work, and his work stands against
Yeah.
anyone.
Oh yeah,
So if you
absolutely.
haven't,
And
so if you, yeah,
his work is very gay. Like
yeah,
it's very not straight at least.
yeah,
Like he doesn't play for the straight masses, which is very funny to see
yeah.
someone not.
And so if anyone hasn't watched this film or seen it, I highly suggest that you give it a watch. You know,
Cool. I'm
um,
I'm happy you found it. Did you had you heard of it before I mentioned it?
I um I heard about it in passing, um,
Yeah,
but when you
because it is
mentioned,
like
but
one of the.
yeah,
Yeah.
but when you mentioned it last podcast, it got me intrigued. I was like,
Yeah.
and so I put it on. So I put it on this morning. Was it this morning or last night? Whenever it was, and I think it was early today. And so I
Yeah.
watched it. And I was just like, first of all, I have to get orientated with the setup because the intro was like, I think the intro must have been about like it
Oh,
took
it's
it
like
took
17 minutes,
yeah
17 minutes long.
yeah it took 3 minutes for the actual introduction with the cast who was involved,
Yeah.
and then another say 4 minutes of shots. So yeah, I
Yes.
mean it took a while, and then we're going
Oh yeah.
into it. Um, very a very avant-garde feel, very Franco French feel to it, obviously.
Yeah.
Uh, very 50s, 60s in style,
Yeah.
but totally fucking wacky from the get-go.
Yeah. I kind of
Um,
love the fact that you saw it in French. Like, I don't know if you recorded when you explained that, but like Torrance saw this film in French,
yeah. Um,
which I didn't wasn't expecting, and I love that fact because that must be like I don't know. It makes it like it sort of works with the absurdity of the film that you also saw it like kind of
yeah.
absurd.
It gave it. I suppose me watching it in French, it gave it that added charm to it because it brought the wackiness out of it more. I mean, I might have gone that if I watched it
Yeah.
in English, but I don't know. I mean, again, Unfortunately,
Yeah,
I wasn't able to put the subtitles to English, but oh well. I watched it
yeah.
and I enjoyed it.
It's a hard one to find. Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's the important part. Then it's
yeah.
done its job,
And
like
it's
with
like,
regardless. Um,
and so yeah, after I got orientated with the characters and the setup, I was like, okay, I see where they're going with this
yeah,
because you've got obviously um Melanie Griffith's character, Miss Whitlock, who clearly doesn't give a fuck about the fact
uh,
that she's a Hollywood star. She's like, she can't be fucking bothered. You've got Nikki Lake and Libby trying to like see what was happening or whatever. It's like she clearly didn't give a crap about where she is. Um, she
yeah,
she's perhaps battling with the fact that she doesn't want to be there. So there's a scene where she's drinking alcohol, probably to build up the courage to go out there and face the public, i.e. the
yeah,
paparazzi. It's like Stephen Dorff and the five members of his crew are undercover. It's just flipping what back. It's just a constant back and forth of dialogue that made
yeah.
even more the funnier when you watch certain things of one of them pulling out a shotgun, another one pulling out a gun that's submerged in popcorn, and it's like they're all on radios. And it's like,
Yeah,
it's like,
and they're all like, and they're all having like these cute little code words whenever they
yeah,
do it.
yeah. It's like they always say, like, one of them will say 18 hours and 41.
Yeah.
The next character will say 18 hours and 42. Then it will jump to the next one that who will say 18 hours and 43.
Yeah.
Then it will jump three more when someone else says, oh, it's 18 hours and 46. And it's like,
Yeah.
so it's going back and forth. And it's like,
I think they're actually giving the time.
yeah, given the time, but it's like, it's at
Yeah,
first,
like the clock. Like
yeah,
what time it is.
yeah, when I first saw it, I was like, hang on, why is it going up and down? Like 18, 41, 42, 43, 46. But then it's like, and then I all of a sudden clicked on because it's like, oh, I see what you're doing. It's almost like a different perspective
Yeah.
as well. So at that specific time, it's 1841. Another time, it will be
Yeah.
18 hours and 46. So you're playing with
Yeah.
different perspectives.
Oh yeah.
So
And
yeah,
it's like, and it is them getting ready for like the
yeah,
kidnapping, and it's really cool. It's the whole they're syncing their time
synchronization.
with
Yeah,
each other.
yeah,
But whenever they do it, they also follow it up by like a really weird, like not catchphrase, but like a really weird one-liner where some of them seem to be like film quotes, others seem to be just nonsense, and others seem to like try to sound cool.
yeah,
Like I think uh God, I can't remember any of them now. I know I laughed my ass off when Maggie Gyllenhaal just like planted a pipe bomb in the fucking flower. In
yeah,
and then it's just yeah.
yeah,
Maggie Gyllenhaal, by the way, I did not know how badly I needed goth Maggie Gyllenhaal in my life, but holy shit, she is hot in this film.
yeah. She is. Um,
Um,
yeah, she.
like,
The Stephen Dorff. I mean,
oh yeah,
Stephen Dorff. Like, I think he serves up goth, um,
yeah,
aesthetic.
and
Maggie
he's also
Gill.
like beautiful in it.
Yeah, because the only other time I saw him was when he did one of those Blade films. Um,
Oh yeah, oh yeah, he's Frost.
yeah,
He's Frost in the first Blade film. Jesus fucking Christ, I'd forgotten that.
yeah,
God,
um,
my fucking face. Yeah, not a like my fucking facial blindness.
yeah. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, I can understand why they picked him. Um, I know Maggie Gyllenhaal obviously because of her brother. Um,
yeah.
the other three I'm not so familiar with, but I think they all played a part. They
One
all
of
do their
them,
part, and
wh- one of them played Vince in Entourage, like the lead character in Entourage is like the drug
oh,
addict.
now that you say that, yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, and that's really funny. And his character is wonderful because uh, I'm going to do a more like structured breakdown in a bit. But
yeah,
first, like, when he says, when she, Honey, uh, Melanie Griffith, asks, like, why, not all problems can be solved by doing drugs. Like, why are you high all the time or something? And his response is just like, I had so many problems and now I only have one.
yeah, yeah,
And like, he solved all of his problems by getting a big problem, which is his constant drug use. And when we
yeah,
say constant drug use, and when I say constant drug use, like I it is it's not even a running joke because it happens too often. Like he's constantly doing extremely heavy drugs, like to the point of doing like heroin and meth and it's no, it's not in his. It's not when he goes, but and like get getting high on ketamine before doing like serious fucking terrorist actions, which is fucking funny.
yeah,
Uh, yeah. So because yeah, because as Torrance says, the film is about a terrorist organization. It's about a group of filmmaking terrorists. They call themselves Outlaw Cinema. Um, I just remembered that I was going to start this episode by shouting Demented Forever, but I just fucking forgot it. Which is beautiful, by the way. Demented Forever.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Uh,
Misfit. Andy Warhol worshipping artists
yeah, yeah,
who
they
brand
do
themselves
worship
as
Andy.
outlaw filmmakers known collectively as the Sprocket Holes.
Yeah. And like
Yeah,
when we say outlaw, it's not just the kidnapping they're doing because
no,
okay, so plot. Just a quick run through from beginning to end here because I'm definitely going to spoil the shit out of this. So if you want to
yeah.
see it, sorry,
I
you
mean,
kind of need to spoil. I kind of need to spoil it because otherwise it's impossible to talk about because the ending is fucking important.
yeah,
Um, and like even if you do get it, like you should see it, like either way
yeah,
because I'm never going to do it justice. But basically, so we have this extremely long, like 17-minute opening about this A-list film star who has just done her new romantic comedy, and they're going to show her premiere. And she's going to a premiere and like getting a reward for an award for it or something. And there's some sick kid who has gotten a new heart by her either by the donators who are at the premiere. Yeah, that's
yeah.
right.
Who,
Um,
if I can interject just quickly, who that kid could not give a flying fuck.
he's the best. I
he
love
could,
him.
yeah, he could not give a
Yeah.
flying fuck. He did not want to be there.
No, and I only mention him because like he is completely incidental. Like he isn't important. He is John Waters making fun of rich people because what happens is that he's pulled up on stage and they do a big show of it. He doesn't want to be there. The lady who pulls him up just basically shuts off his oxygen at one point, just fuck with
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
But then the kidnapping happens, and he has a fucking heart attack and dies in front of him while he's laughing his ass off. But anyway, Honey
yeah,
Whitlock comes up on stage, and we've gotten to see like all of Cecil B. Demented's team because the man played by Stephen Dorff is named Cecil B. Demented, which is a play on the director, the playwright like Cecil B. DeMille. Uh, and there are a lot of film references in this film. I have a list of all the tattoos that they have because all the tattoos that they have are filmmakers,
yep,
every single one of them. And so they kidnapped a star, Honey Whitlock, to star in their film Raving Beauty, and I finally got the title. I was right; it's called Raving Beauty. Which is an example of outlaw cinema. The film that they're making is about it's about a mother, a father, and their child who owns a theater, a small indie theater that they're trying to show um, artsy movies at. And they get no money because everyone just wants to see bullshit done by Hollywood mainstream and bullshit. So they decide to go out and basically ruin society. And thing about Raving Beauty is that it is shot in real life with real people. So they're playing their characters in the film, and they are doing everything in real life. So they are attacking real theaters, they are attacking real people, they are actually killing people in this film. They do a lot of crimes. They have a lot of weirdly many shootouts in this film. Like there are so many fucking shootouts, and people die. And here's the thing: the kidnapping terrorist organization, they are the good guys. Like the film is on their side. It believes that they're doing is just and correct. Like this is one of the, and that's what I love about it. This is one of the most weirdly fucking radical films I've ever seen in my entire life because it basically, yeah, there are films about fighting against unjust societies and stuff like that. They're rarely about our society. They're mostly about other societies. Like if we have fallen into totalitarianism. No, basically what this says is that the mainstream is shit, normalcy isn't worth it, and you need to suffer, you need to be ready to die for your art. Like
yeah,
that's the fucking message of this film. And says that as a positive. Like and we're getting to the and that's why the ending is really fucking important because of what
yeah,
Cecil B. DeMent, how he closes out the film. Uh, and first and foremost, this isn't a film about Cecil B. Demented. It's Honey Whitlock is the actual main character in the film. Like she's
yeah,
the protagonist. We see it through her eyes, and that's why. And it's important because we are like her. We are kidnapped by these weird fucking people. We are forced to live in their rundown theater where they live, and like see them just exist in just outside of society's norms, and we are drawn into them because just like her, we become to accept them. And there is a shift in the movie, and it's fairly early on, where she totally devotes herself to outlaw cinema. She understands, and like it's not point. She brands herself with a sigil while humming "Demented Forever" because that's something that they do. Uh, and it is actually framed by the narrative as a positive. Like that's her positive character development. And that's where I love it. That's why I love this film. Because you wouldn't even have to change any of the fucking events that happen in it.
no,
Uh, just a tiny, just a tiny turn of the knob would make them the antagonists
yeah,
because they are weird, they are dumb, they are childish, they are uh, drug addicted weirdos who live in a make it in theater, who 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 like kills people, and the film says that they are our heroes, and they are. Because the message of the film is basically that the mainstream is passionless and it is just out to make money, and you shouldn't want to make money. You shouldn't make art to make money. You should make art because it is a passion within you. Uh, the only thing that I don't really get is the weird they're not allowed to fuck until they finish the film part.
Yeah.
Because Cecil B. Demented um, has uh, some weird idea about the the horniness needs to be on the screen and not on the it's celibate for celluloid is what they call it. Stay
Yeah.
celibate for
Yeah. Yeah.
celluloid. And they have a lot of this is a fucking quote bank. Like there are so many good quotes, like Demented Forever, Celibate for Celluloid. Also just Cecil B. Demented opening a door, like like just snapping a whip while wearing a fucking open straitjacket is perfect. His
Yeah.
entrances are wonderful. Um, and him screaming, "This is a fucking kidnapping." I don't know why. Fuck the adding of fucking to "this is a kidnapping." It just makes it so funny.
Yeah.
But and yeah, they are trashy people. They are weird people. But the film is on their side, like essentially in the fiction of the film. Um, it is viewed as a happy ending almost, despite
Yeah.
plenty of them dying.
Yeah.
And like Honey Whitlock getting thrown in jail because they start targeting studio executives who are making, for example, Forrest Gump 2. And the examples of why film is like mainstream film and Hollywood cinema is shit in this film is so funny. They make a they make a they make a Forrest Gump 2 bit where they go to a shooting of Forrest Gump 2 because they're making Forrest Gump 2, and basically the, we see the whole life's like a box of chocolate thing,
Yeah.
but with for some reason crab cakes. Life is kind of like a crab cake, and
Yeah.
it's such a good and absolutely ridiculous comment on Hollywood. And that's what this film is genuinely about. It's about passion and art, and it. But what it doesn't do, and here's where I think that it is important actually as a uh, cornerstone of like queer cinema, if we're going to say that, because I do consider it film that in some way. Like the film, the characters are mainly straight, um,
Yeah.
but uh, but they are definitely not heteronormative, any of them.
No.
Uh, and they are like they're all extremely beautiful, but they are not beautiful by societal standards. They
No.
are so
No.
fuck ugly. Like
Yeah.
they dress, and it's not even like dressing alternatively, dressing alternative. It's not like they're not just goth or anything. They are like wearing the most ill-matching clothes possible, and they pull it off so fucking well. They
Yeah.
are like Cecil B. Demented is just walking around for big chunk of the film wearing a fucking straitjacket. Uh, and when he doesn't, he wears even dumber shit. But it works. It fucking works. And what makes it so beautiful is because, like, the costume designer that they have, not in Cecil B. Demented, but for Raving Beauty, like the weird, really, really horny young guy who's just like, take off your clothes. Um, he, uh, he, like, and like he clearly designed all of their dress ups, even like outside of the film. I get the feeling of.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, so they're making a film. Honey Whitlock is forced to make this film, and there is a great introduction to all of the characters where she's tied to a chair. This is when she's just gotten kidnapped, and she wakes up, and Cecil B. Demented, for whatever reason, is coming down from his like he sleeps on a fucking crane, like
Yeah.
uh, 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 and for some reason, like she can't have been tied there long. Like if you're unconscious for more than 5 minutes, you get brain damage. She can't be. Did he tie her to that chair and then just hoist himself up on that thing just so that he could like come down? And of course he did. He's a filmmaker. He made. I think am I, oh, I think I'm sitting here showing my panties, so I'm going to sit down on the floor. Uh, but like he made he's a filmmaker. Of course,
Yeah.
he's going to make an entrance, and it's beautiful. But then everybody gets to make an entrance because every single one of the character comes out. They stand in front of her, and they say the most unhinged fucking shit you could even possibly imagine. I'm not going to quote it because that one I'm going to definitely leave, but I am going to say this because each of them like shows a tattoo to her, which is a name, and each of those names are filmmakers,
Yeah.
and it's some fucking beautiful filmmakers, and it has something to do with the characters that they are, but also it's just like a nice tribute to some underground or art house or weirdo filmmakers.
Yeah.
Um,
If we start with Cecil, the
yeah,
tattoo that he has is of Otto Preminger, and that is on his
yeah,
left forearm.
yeah, and that is he's God. I don't know what these are called in English now. Um, but yeah, it's a filmmaker from the early and uh, earlier 20th century. I hate the fact that ah in Swedish we say call that the 19th century, so it's fucked for me.
Yeah.
It's to say that it's the 20th century. But yeah,
Yeah.
she Otto Preminger is a filmmaker from the early parts of that. He died in the 80s. I don't know what any of his films are called in Swedish, in English, because I only know the names in Swedish. Laura, I think he made.
Yeah.
Um, then we have Cherish,
Yeah.
who
Andy
is
Andy
who
Warhol.
is yeah, she is Andy Warhol,
Yeah.
who did make a lot of films. Not good films. He actually made the first adaptation of A Clockwork Orange. It's called Vinyl. It's one shot, uh, and the entire film is just played out on a weird stage where you can't hear what anyone says.
Yeah.
Um, and Cherish is because if we like, these are the characters. She plays the daughter in the film Raving Beauty.
Yeah.
She's also apparently the porn star who has acted as the stand-in for Honey Whitlock in the porn parodies of her movies. For example, some kind of what is it? I hear some kind of kindness, but I know that it's because Yorgos Lanthimos' new film, Kinds of Kindness. It's but like she played her in the new one, who's already come out, and it's instead called Some Kind of Horniness, which
Okay.
is a wonderful
Yeah.
title.
Absolutely.
Yeah, who's the next one? Lyle, who is
Yeah.
the drug addicted weirdo, has Herschel Gordon Lewis, who I haven't packed it up yet. Herschel Gordon Lewis is the grandfather of gore. He is the inventor of the snuff film. He made Blood Feast. He made 2000 Maniacs. He made many, many beautiful things. He is the reason that we now get to see uh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful blood in the film. He also made The Wizard of Gore, which is a fucking masterpiece. Um, who's the next one? We have Pam,
Sam. Yeah.
who
Sam
is
Peckinpah.
yeah, director of Straw Dogs, which is a fucking heavy film. Uh, like, then we have Chardonnay, who is Spike Lee. Needs no
Yeah.
introduction there. He's made
No.
some great movies, and then he made Get on the Bus.
Yeah.
Uh, And then we have Lewis, David Lynch,
Yep,
uh, on his knuckles written, and David Lynch needs again no introduction.
exactly.
Uh,
Then we have
who's the
Fidget.
next one?
Fidget.
Yeah, Fidget, who is the young guy? Yes, William Castle.
Yep,
William Castle is an ancient filmmaker. He from the start of it, he did like House on the Haunting Hill. He did uh, a lot of shit. I'm trying to find if he is the one who I think he is, but doesn't matter.
he's done.
He did a lot of beautiful,
Um,
beautiful things.
yeah, Shanks, Project X, The Spirit is Willing, The Busybody, Let's Kill Uncle, I Saw What You Did, The
Yeah,
Night Walker, and so on. Yeah,
yeah, and he did like a lot of gimmicky things.
yeah,
But like House on the Haunted Hill,
yeah,
excellent. It's like a haunted house, like a haunted house tour.
yeah.
It's really funny. It's like a haunt. It's like not in all anyway a serious film. Then we have Raven, who's first the filmmaker Kenneth Anger, who is like, uh, it's a weird one. I'm going to let people find that one on their own
Yeah.
because that's a fun one to so. Um, then we have Almodovar. No, Rodney, who has Almodovar, who is Pedro Almodovar. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but
Pedro Almodovar.
yeah, it's the like what is it called? Women on the I don't know what these are called in Swedish and the Spanish, like The Skin I Live In, he made. Uh, I I didn't check that yet. Then we have Petite, Petty, Petey, Petey. Why can't I fucking read? Then we have
Pessy,
Peter Fassbender.
yeah. Presumably Rainer Werner Fassbender, left forearm.
Yeah, who's a fucking great filmmaker. And then we have Dinah, who has Sam Fuller or Samuel Fuller, who again, so Swedish titles used to be shit back then, and I don't know what these are called in English. So like I only know the Swedish titles. So I'm sorry
Yeah,
about that. I can't say what he
that's
made,
right.
but he is a classic filmmaker. But those are the filmmakers.
Yeah,
Uh, and like that's they do that, and it's this film takes its time, but it doesn't feel like it. Like
no, it
except for the
doesn't.
like we have the 17-minute setup. And then we have like this right after the setup, we have a shootout because, like I said, there are
Yeah,
many shootouts where they kidnap her. And then we have like this overlong scene of introductions that it's just goes on for fucking ever.
yeah,
And the fucking hairdresser that they have uh, is completely insane and hate Roots because she's a brunette at the start of the film, Honey Whitlock, and they make her a blonde because they need a blonde for their film. So they make her a blonde, and he is basically just this evil sadist. But the reason that he is uh, sadistic and the reason that he needs to hurt people is because he's painfully straight and he hates it
yeah,
because he another man in the crew is in love with him and he cannot uh, give them what they need, and that hurts him, so he needs to hurt other people. And it is so fucking funny when Maggie Gyllenhaal says to him, nobody wishes they were born straight."
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Um, Also
Um,
some other um trivia relating to Honey Whitlock, who later joins her kidnappers.
yeah.
Is similar to the real life story of how Patricia Hearst was kidnapped by and later joined the Symbionese Liberation Army in the 1970s.
Oh,
Hearst appears in the movie and has appeared in all of John Waters' movies since Crybaby 1990.
Cool.
So I don't
That's
so I
really
don't know what
cool.
particular character she plays or if she's as herself in the film, but so a bit
Yeah,
of
I don't know.
yeah. Also,
Um,
Maggie Gyllenhaal handpicked Jonathan Fiorucci out of the extras to be the guy she makes out with in the film's climax. Director John
oh
Waters
yeah,
later found out that Ferrucci's mother and his own mother are friends, adding that only happens in Baltimore.
yeah. Oh yeah, the
Yeah,
film is set in Baltimore also, which is like they make a big deal about the film being set in Baltimore,
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
which I like,
yeah,
which is funny. Um,
yeah,
maybe that goes in Hollywood, maybe that flies in Hollywood, but not here.
yeah.
And like what they say flies in Hollywood is basically murder.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. John Waters had an
Um,
interview with John Waters had an interview with him published before this film was made, in which the headline referred to him as Cecil B. Demented. Waters thought the title was too good to pass up.
I get that. It is a fucking great title. Um, he is like what is so fuck like, and this is true for all of uh this is true for all of John Waters' films. He has no interest in normal society, like in depicting it. He has no interest not only in not in depicting it, but he has no fucking interest in catering to it, because that's one of the things that I absolutely love about this film and why it is so important, because this is not made for anyone who doesn't agree with these people. This is made for people. Like it doesn't try to meet halfway or anything. It doesn't say like, oh, but like this is not a centrist film.
No, far
This
from
is
it.
this is fucking this is a revolutionary screed about against mainstream cinema and about against like when I say political correctness now, I don't mean in the sense of oh, let's be racist. I mean, in the sense of like what politically correctness actually used to mean, which is like just uh, making everything so fucking homogenic, um, uh, making everything the same, making everything okay, making everything nice. He doesn't want to make everything nice, um, and this film has no interest in anyone who wants to make anything nice. This film just wants to entertain the people who don't want it. Like this film begs cinema to be uncomfortable and weird and like grotesque. And there are sequences in this which are fucking grotesque. As
Yeah,
there are in all John Waters' film, because John Water, maybe not in Hairspray, but I genuinely haven't seen that one. Because like, but John Waters is a weird guy. Um, And like this is the kind of there's also a maybe non-binary character in this.
yeah,
Like it's never really mentioned, but like the
no,
styling is there. And it
yeah,
just like all of this pretty much just goes unshaded because they are just weird people living outside the society. And the film says that that's okay because there are so many films about like gay people should be accepted into society and like queer should be okay. And of course, like no, gay people shouldn't be killed. But
yeah,
like um this is a film that is proudly for kink at pride. If
yeah,
we say that, like this film wants the weird shit, and as as a community, I think the queer community is getting less and less of that, and
yeah,
I think that is damaging because like queer literally means weird. Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, like
And this film is an
I
absolute.
want queer
Yeah,
community to be weird.
yeah. So do I. You know,
Yeah,
this
look at me.
film speaks to that community in such a way that
Yeah,
it represents the community. in all of
Yeah,
its
and it
forms.
does so like without and it does so from the inside, and it does so without ever uh asking for anything from society, rather
No,
demanding shit
exactly. Yeah,
constantly. And like the weirdo porn freaks
yeah,
are like sympathetic, and like the weirdo porn freaks are sympathetic, and like the Puritans are psychotic, but it's not, but not in the way that it's like the weirdo porn creeps are framed as weirdo porn creeps, and that's a good thing. Like, they
yeah,
actually, there's a scene where they because Cherish, as we said, she's a porn star. So when they are running from the cops and when they are running from Hollywood executives, who are there to like make Maryland little Hollywood. Uh, and they are running away from like the studio execs, and they are hiding in a porn theater, and all of them are like helping to hide Cherish and like Cecil B. Demented and stuff, because and all of them because they are great fans of Cherish, and then there are some people who are great fans of Cecil B. Demented, and then you get like a weird good friend in the porn theater who is just like the most weirdly ADR'd character I've ever seen. Like all of his lines are dubbed, I swear to God. Uh, but uh, but they are also like when the normal society comes through the door of the pain of the porn theater, the weirdo creeps act like fucking zombies. Like it
yeah,
becomes a zombie flick
yeah,
for like 5 seconds.
yeah,
And I don't mean like it looks like that. No, it's
yeah,
genuinely shot to
yeah,
be a zombie flick for a bit. Which means like, yeah, they are still depicted as weirdo creeps, which that's kind of odd in this sort of film. Like usually it's supposed to show that like, oh, but we're also normal. Whereas this film shows that no, we are fucking weirdos. We are creepy weirdos, but that's what we are supposed like that's a good thing. Who wants to be normal? And I like that. And I think that's kind of a fucking radical message.
yeah. And the actual head of the Baltimore Film Commission, this is
Oh
another
yeah, that's right.
trivia, appears in the sequence in which Honey Whitlock jumps off a building into the middle of a BFC press conference. He's one of the extras gagging on the oysters he's forced to eat by Cecil's band of terrorists.
Yeah, I love that she survives that jump purely on the fact that it's a movie.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and I don't mean like
yeah,
on the fact that this will be demented in this movie. I mean
yeah,
like she seems to survive that jump on the basis of them shooting a movie. Like this film literally says that I will get like make it work for some reason
yeah,
because she just lands it. She jumps from like 20 feet and just lands it and then goes crazy.
yeah,
And then there's a great shootout and one of the characters dies, which is sad. But it's not framed as sad when these characters die. They die for their art, they die for cinema, they die for celluloid, and it's framed as something positive that they're willing to do that. And I think that's really beautiful. Like we need more. I cannot picture a more radical art film than this.
no, I can't. And the role that Kevin Nealon played was
Yeah.
written for Michael J. Fox, who's named in the
Oh,
script.
oh,
Um,
that's cool.
in the Honey Whitlock's line, "I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. Demented," is a reference to the last line in Sunset Boulevard, 1950.
I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille.
Yeah.
That's
Also
a great film.
in the director's memoir, Mr. Know-All, John Waters relates that Melanie Griffith had a bad fall on location that left a large cut on her face for an important
Mm.
scene that hadn't been shot yet. He was forced to use a body double filmed from behind to hide the fact it wasn't really Melanie Griffith. During the scene, ironically, Griffith played one in her breakout role as a porn star in Brian De Palma's film Body Doubled, 1984.
Oh, yeah. I haven't
Um,
seen that one.
yeah. But yeah,
But okay,
if those of you listening, if you can't tell, um, by how we're talking and explaining this film, um, you've got to see it. You've got to see it for yourself
yeah, I have
because
a few. I have a few notes. Like part of them are from my boyfriend, who I just want to like run through.
yeah,
For example, everyone in this film fucking stunning. Like
yeah,
the sex appeal of this film, Jesus Christ. Um, and once again, like they are right, and they never argue why they are right. Like it's never because she asks them like, "Why are you willing to die for this?" And they just like because that's what we do. Like
yeah,
that's all it takes. That's the only way. And it is silly and it is stupid and it is childish and it's fun, but it's also passionate and it's important. And that's what I like. That's when I say that this is the only film that uh, shares my opinion of art, and that is that because I consider myself an artist. I do. And if you've seen my short film, anyone out there, you would know that I am a um, fairly experimental and fairly weird artist. Uh, but like I don't, and some people will say that I don't take it seriously because I joke around about it and I make like silly things and I make dumb shit and like I once I once edited a picture. I'm going to, I'm going to I'm going to send you something evil now uh, because I need you to understand what I say, what I mean with this. Because do you know the Rocky Horror Picture Show?
yes,
Do you remember Pocky?
yes, I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Pocky is, for those of you who don't know, is a Japanese candy sort of thing. It's a stick with either chocolate or strawberry or other tastes at the end of it.
yep,
It's not good. It's not
nope,
especially interesting.
nope.
But it is what it is well, I have it here. What it is a setup for the fucking sickest thing I've ever done, which is this. I hope I can drop it off somewhere. Can I? Can you? I don't- how do I share things? I need to bring up the chat. I'm going to share a picture in the chat. I just need to get to it. I'm sorry. And if you can, because I don't think I can share it. Dumb shit. Yeah, I do have a file on my uh, computer that is just called dumb shit, where I put like all my weird. Um, so I created something evil. Now you have a message. Now we have like in the chat. If you check it,
Right.
you can bring it up.
Uh, got it. Let me download it. Yeah, that's fine. Do that. Right then, if I click on, right, so if I'm going to,
So what's going to happen now is that you're going to see something cruel and unusual. You're going to get a cruel and unusual punishment for listening to this show, for watching this show. So because I once made because I realized that the Rocky Horror Picture Show sounds oddly similar to like Rocky and Pocky sounds alike. So if we
yeah,
have the
just
Rocky Horror
right.
Picture Show,
So
maybe we should have the Pocky Horror Picture Show. And then I created it, and it's awful. The fucking worst.
yeah, let me
Yeah.
um wait, computer. Wait a minute, bear with me. So let me. Where's my wait? Let me see if I can
Yeah.
pull it up. Pull it
Uh,
up. because
I'll keep going on about my point about art,
yeah,
of course, for as we go, because like, and the thing is that yeah, it's dumb and it's silly and it should be treated that way, but it's also extremely fucking important. Art is so fucking unimportant and it's so fucking important at the same time. It's so fucking dumb and it's so fucking important, and it's like that's my life, and it's the most important thing in my life, and it's the dumbest shit I ever do as well. And I have this intense need to create. And like, this film is the first film that I see treat art in a way that it's like, yeah, it's dumb, yeah, it's shit, but it's also fucking important and it's the best thing ever. Like, this film loves art.
oh yeah, you
And on a
can,
like,
yeah,
and they have a drive, like because the terrorists are apparently teenagers, which is funny because none of them look like it. Even the youngest kid, like, looks like he's at least 25. But they are like teenagers because, and their parents are, and they've left their parents because their parents are enemies of cinema. And they are
yeah,
the ones who are correct. Like when Fidget is trying to escape, when Fidget gets cold feet and wants to go home to his parents, they convince him not to, and that is seen as something positive. That is seen as something good. He's not supposed to be with his parents. He's supposed to be with the people who get him. He's supposed to be with his little weird art collective. And that's also like that. Hey, not being allowed, oh, not like not being with your parents, but being with a weirdo collective that you sort of met because of your shared interest. Yeah, that's kind of a gay thing as well. Uh, like, there are a lot of parallels in it. But the main thing is that like the normalcy isn't desired by this film. It says that yeah, we are outcasts and that's good. And it says that society is wrong. Like, and not some weird totalitarian regime, but society now is fucked and it should be broken. And I don't know, I find that kind of beautiful. The terrorist organization who kidnaps the film star is right. Um, and then she sets herself on fire for them. And it's a beautiful thing. And like, people die for this. People die for their art, and that's good. And their art is dumb and their art is silly, but their art is also loved by people all of a sudden. Like, they they get so much love for it because they are passionate, because they are, and I think that's the main thing that like is important about this. And also that it truly is a collective. Like, people, they do the Demented Forever stuff, but there is like, whenever someone says, I have a vision, that person is listened to instantly and instinctually.
yeah,
And that's a running line. Like, Cecil B. Demented will say some says it a few times, but also like, he's not. Yeah, he's their leader in a sense, and he's definitely the most charismatic of them. But also like, when someone else says, "I have a vision," he is happy. He's overjoyed when Honey Whitlock says it herself. He just looks at her with a like look of pure bliss. And they change it, like they clearly change the script because that's when they go and like kill the people who make Forrest Gump too. And that was clearly not in his script. That was like something that she, and because fairly early on, Cecil B. Demented says there are no creative differences on a Cecil B. Demented set. And what that could mean is that fuck you, I know what I'm doing and you have no right to say anything. But what he clearly means it to be is like, no, we follow the vision. And that can be anyone's vision. And I think that's really beautiful because film is a collaborative art form, unless you do what I do and just shoot myself.
yeah. Right. Um,
We can I can share it with the um
Yeah, because for some reason
uh
I'm not able to bring it up on my end.
yeah, yeah, it's
Um,
cool.
yeah,
I'm
but yeah,
yeah,
everything.
it's
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I completely agree with what you said because I mean,
oh, I, help. What did I do now? Oh God. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
because yeah, it's this film like seriously, um, just go and watch this wherever possible. If you have the option to watch this in English, then please do because
Yeah,
you
and
won't
it's
be
like
you'll be in for a treat.
and let's say like and oh, and Cecil B. Demented is not a hypocrite, by the way. Like Cecil isn't a hypocrite because he dies in this film.
Yeah,
He dies for his art in and that's because I nearly cry when that happens because what happened he dies to save Honey Whitlock from the police by sitting in a wheelchair and setting himself on fire and throwing and like getting thrown like pushed at them. And this is all seen as like the happy ending because they get to finish their movie. Like he's willingly doused in kerosene and set ablaze. And it's the and it's not that he dies that makes it happy. It's not that like, no, of course he's not happy when he dies. And like they do mourn each other. Like it's beautiful at times. But also they are willing to do this. They knew this was the risk and they took it. And yeah, you should be ready to bleed for your art, it seems to say. Even though, like, yeah, it's clearly like playing on a heightened reality and stuff. Also, the fucking at the end when they finish their films and finally can fuck, that is the funniest sex I have ever seen in film, except for Kyle MacLachlan fucking her in the pool in like Showgirls,
yeah,
because there she's like, I don't even know what they're doing in that one. But in this, like, this sound effect that they have like added
yeah,
whenever they
yeah,
are like and it's also like the gay blowjob scene that is the fakest shit I've ever seen, but it's all intended. Like this is the thing. Like everyone in this is cartoon characters, but they're also the realest people you'll ever meet.
yeah,
And yeah, and please watch it. Like fuck. Uh,
yeah, absolutely, yeah. And
and now yeah,
yeah, and it's like don't be put off by the that the comedy doesn't always land. Just stick with it because you'll
yeah,
soon realize that this is a cult classic for a reason,
yeah,
and it will all make sense. So
yeah.
yeah, but I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think that um I'm gonna watch it again
Oh yeah,
tomorrow.
yeah.
Um,
Nice.
so yeah,
I'm happy to hear.
um,
Um, and I am glad we did this. This was fun.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
certainly good because like you say, it's nice to take a break from
yeah,
what we normally do. So yeah, if
yeah.
there are any other films that you want to cover or whatever that are queer adjacent, then I'm all for doing it
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that
And
because
like I've been we and like other times we can do it like I did with the Invisible Monsters where I just like took a segment of it like I'm fine with it, but like this was fun.
yeah,
Um, uh, this is more and this is like this way I can contribute also like
yeah,
to the ideas because I am
yeah,
genuinely shit at reading the news. because fucking depresses me. Like I was really good a few years back, but then all of a sudden the world started burning.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of the news is specifically how the world gets worse for people like me, and I kind of yeah, it
yeah,
it
don't,
is
yeah,
it's
yeah,
rough sometimes, and that's
yeah,
why I needed this sort of break because it was actually my boyfriend who realized that I had been getting uh more clearly upset in the episodes, and he said that we should probably do something that it wasn't like news story
yeah,
for a bit, like for at least one. But so this was, and I feel like yeah, it was good for me because yeah,
yeah. It's like
uh,
the only time I ever look at the news is when we come to record and I'm trying to, get
yeah,
some topics and that. That's the only time I look at the news really,
yeah,
or consume like media news. Other than
yeah,
that, I don't really watch, care to be honest. But yeah, we can,
yeah.
yeah,
So this was great,
but yeah,
and
if you have nothing to do this weekend, those of you who
mm,
listen, and you want a fun film, wacky as shit, the most irreverent uh, comedy you will ever see, dark comedy,
yeah.
put this film on. I
Yeah.
I
And
guarantee you will not be disappointed.
and if you want to see another John Waters film, I do believe that in America, Serial Mom is actually on Netflix.
Yeah,
I don't know if it still is, but I think it was last time I was in America. Next time I was in the US on my VPN. I've never been to the US for real, but I have watched a lot of shows that are only available there on Netflix.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And but yeah, everything what I can't put links to. I'll try and put a link to the film from where I watched it.
Yeah,
But um, if I can find other links that take you to it, I'll add them in. If not, I'll try and do my best to put you in the right
yeah.
direction. Um,
Pirate Bay.
yeah. Um,
Oh, seems to have a
I'm
cough
sure.
that made me like
Yeah,
cover that. I meant to say Pirate Bay.
yeah. I
That was
mean,
a
I
fucking great
mean,
joke.
yeah. I mean, you could probably buy it. It probably will cost a lot, but I don't know. Um, if I can find where to buy it, I'll obviously put that in the description. Um,
Yeah,
but
should be a DVD somewhere.
but either way, check this film out. I'm sure our review of it probably didn't do it justice, but then again, I hope it helped.
No,
I mean, it certainly
well,
helped us.
not nothing does it justice.
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
like yeah, like, and it is wacky as shit. Like it
yeah,
is, um, but that's like it's sort of like uh, you know how I take myself extremely seriously while not taking myself seriously at all.
yeah,
That's the same thing with this film. It takes itself so seriously while also never taking itself seriously at all,
yeah, exactly.
which is beautiful.
Yeah,
This
and
film is me. I am Cecil B. Demented. The first time I saw it, I was actually a weird, lanky, tall boy with the short blonde hair, white hair actually, because I did bleach my hair, who constantly went on about filmmaking and guerrilla filmmaking and stuff. So yeah, it like I was Cecil B. Demented when I was a teenager.
yeah, and again, just to reiterate, um, I did watch this in French, and
That is the funniest shit. Like I love that. I love that note. Like
um, on whilst we're still live, if you happen to have a Windows laptop, you can find it on the Microsoft store, Microsoft.com, and you can find Cecil B. Demented on there. You can
I think
rent
you can
you
find.
can rent it for $4, or you can buy it for $6
Yeah.
on the store. So
Um.
yeah, you can find it on
Yeah.
there. You can also
I
find
believe
it.
it's also on Prime in America, like in the US, and I think it's on the
Yeah,
Apple Store.
yeah. Just type in Cecil B. Demented film, and it should pop up.
And
But
that's
if
like,
not,
yeah, you'll see the title to this one.
yeah,
It's B dot, not
yeah,
BE.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, yeah. But the fashion and the style on point. The comedy is on point, although it does dip a bit. But that's part of its charm, like I said.
When it hits like a
It
fucking brick, though.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Yeah. Um, the point is, if you've got
The
an
constant hail Satan.
yeah, if you've got an, a 3 hour and a half this weekend, and you want a film to watch, type in Cecil being documented film and just sit
Yeah.
back and watch the chaos ensue.
And like the opening is
Yeah,
slow, but it's
yeah,
knowingly so. Like that's planned out. Like Torrance says, it's 90-minute film, and
yeah,
yeah, the opening scene is 17 minutes long. Like,
yeah.
and the setup, like when it gets going, it gets fucking
Yeah,
going.
it does. Yeah, it does.
Uh, it's this was cool. Oh, I love talking about art and
Yeah,
culture.
yeah. And so
Like the
yeah,
pretentious cunt I am.
yeah. And so yeah, we thought that for this episode we will do something a little bit different, and we
Yeah,
may keep this going um in the future. You know,
yeah.
um,
I'll be
break up,
keeping my
break
eyes
up.
out if I can
Yeah,
find something.
yeah, break
I
up.
believe
Like
so much of I think so much queer cinema is so fucking boring and like appeasing to normal society.
yeah,
Um, normal. I'm using normal in the sense like, yeah, you get what I mean.
yeah,
But like, uh, and that's like why I wanted to talk about the Invisible Monsters when I did as well, because that's also like the, the trans character in that book is fucking vile, and I
yeah,
love it. Uh, and like so that's always going to be my sort of going into it, I think. Uh, so if you want the trashier part of the queer experience, I'm here.
yeah. And yes, and we will be doing the invisible monsters on an upcoming episode as well. So look forward to that.
Did we do it?
I don't think we did. No, no, I don't think we did a full review. I mean, we may have spoken about it, but I don't think we've done a
Oh
full
yeah,
one.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, sure.
so we'll
Have you
definitely
have
do
you
that.
read it?
No, but I'm going to, so that we can
Great.
do
I'm
the
looking forward to it.
yeah.
Um,
So
yeah,
yeah, that will be it until
yeah,
next Thursday. So I hope you enjoy your
yeah,
weekend, have fun, stay safe, look after your mental health as always. Um, and
yeah.
yeah, if you
And
have
remember that
fun and you want to,
double wrapping condoms will
yeah,
break condoms, so don't fucking do it.
yeah, good advice, yeah. And if you are the type of person that you like to experiment with drugs, do it safely in a safe manner. Make sure you're safe.
Yeah.
And I'll leave it at that. So yeah, we will see you in the next episode. Stay safe, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Right, I'm gonna Where is it? I'm gonna stop recording.